Welcome to my show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
It's nice
Very
to
nice
have
to be
you here.
here.
And later on, we're going to hear you singing, because a lot of Swedish people love your songs.
I've been really, really blessed with the response I've been getting in Sweden. I surely have.
What do you feel and what do you think when I say Jill Johnsson?
I think Jill Johnsson was the person that really put my life back together for me, is what I think.
For those who don't know the story, could you just explain what happened when the two of you met for the first time?
Well, she was Jill Johnsson comes to Sweden quite a bit because she loves Sweden, like we all do, and she has a lot of friends there now at this point in her career. And she came to town for that particular time to.
And the town is Nashville.
The town is Nashville. I'm sorry about that.
Where you lived, yeah.
Yeah, and she came to town to do an episode for one of her television shows on street musicians of Nashville.
Jill's Veranda, yeah.
On Jill's Veranda television show. And I guess I was one of the lucky people that she had first come up to interview. And
you just sat there.
Well, I was actually introduced to her through a woman who ran a food pantry in Nashville. Her people had called a friend of mine who ran a food pantry, and so we knew they were coming by. Or my friend Stacy, who ran the food pantry, she told me about it. And
I've seen that scene when she asks you to play something and sing something.
Yeah.
And she just.
That's exactly how it happened. I was as shocked as I was, probably more shocked than anybody that the response that I got from playing that song.
How was your life at that time?
Well, I was living out on the street quite a bit, and
tough life.
Yeah, I don't know that I really need to go into the details of my lifestyle back then, but it wasn't an easy one. But I was a street singer. I've been a street singer all my life, you know. So that was pretty much how I come about meeting her. It's because I was out on the street, you know, living that lifestyle.
Even if you don't go into details, what does that kind of life do to a person?
It's I guess it depends on what kind of person you are to begin with, you know. And I've always been a person that I felt that God was always by my side with me wherever I was and whatever happened to me. So for me, it was a thing where I always kind of had this feeling inside of me that it was a temporary moment in my life that wasn't going to be lasting forever. My life has been a roller coaster ride ever since I was a child, you know.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs, drastically.
Going Down to the River is the song that you became well known for, famous for here in Sweden, and it's also the title of your book. And it's about your life.
It's about everybody's life, really. I think the thing that people like the most about that song is when you can write a song that the whole world can relate to, there's a good chance that you're going to get some recognition. And I think that was the magic of that song. The song is about how we all have a tendency to fall, and we need to get back up again. We need to find a way to get back up again.
And sometimes you need a little help from your friends.
Yes, you do.
To get back on track, because that's what happened with you
exactly
over and over again.
Yes, it is, for sure, for sure.
How much did your childhood affect your life, do you think?
My childhood was not a good childhood. It wasn't very good at all. My daddy left me when I was 8 years old, never to return. He just washed his hands clean of the family. And that wasn't good for me, and it wasn't good for my older brother. I think was more affected than I was, because he was a little bit older when it happened. He was 12. And that wasn't good. And
it's like a wound?
Yeah. It definitely was a wound. You know, I mean, I've had people come up to me back when I was a teenager, and they'd say to me, "Why don't you go looking for your dad?" And my response was, if I ever found my father, I would probably strangle him to death. So I guess there was some anger involved.
What's your feeling today when you look back on what you did? Is it more...
My feeling about what? My dad leaving?
Yeah, what he did to you and how it affected...
For me, I've turned my anger to sorrow. And
it's sorrow.
Sorrow and mercy. I think mercy is a big word in my life right now. You know, you have your anger, you make a decision how you feel about people in general. You know, you have a choice of you can either you can either feel anger or you can feel mercy. I feel mercy for my father right now.
But you have turned to music has always been in your life because it came also from your parents.
Yes.
But
my grandparents, actually.
And grandparents,
yeah.
Too. But also drugs and alcohol, which is something that can destroy anybody's life.
Yes, drugs and alcohol for me was the demon, you know. That was the demon seed that was inside me for a lot of years.
How did you beat that demon?
With God.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. With God, with prayer. And that's how it happened. It actually happened to me overnight. I was a drug addict and an alcoholic for many, many years. I got to the point where I got so sick and tired of myself, and I felt like I was going to eventually die from some kind of overdose. And I realized that I needed God's help because I was brought up in a Christian environment with my mom, you know. And I said a really good, strong prayer one evening. This was only maybe 3 months before I met Jill Johnsson. So I probably had been clean and sober for, I'm going to say, not even 2 months when Jill come rolling along and helped me put my life back together.
And you stayed that way?
My life was already progressing pretty good as far as just walking away overnight from the drugs and the alcohol, you know, so that was good. And I think, you know, the way I look at that, I think it was God's gift to me, bringing Jill Johnsson my way. I really do. And I always feel that way.
There is another painful period of your life in your book, and that is your own marriage and children.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me to even talk about because my wife was, I'm not sure how to put it into words as far as my marriage because my wife was, she was different. She was not totally normal. She was an artist, and she was a person who couldn't deal with society, deal with reality, deal with the pressure of going out to find a career for herself. She couldn't deal with any of that stuff, and I pretty much. I think the reason I fell in love with my wife was because for me it was like I always had this thing about trying to help the wounded bird, and I looked at my wife like she was a wounded bird, a wounded dove that needed some help. And I've always been that way about. It seems to me that I'm attracted to having the opportunity to work with somebody that's injured or needs help.
But it's really hard for you to talk about your own children, is it?
No, not terribly hard. I mean, I have a fairly good relationship with my children.
You have that?
Well, my daughter I'm having a problem with right now, but that's an up and down journey too. Yeah.
What do they say about your career? I mean, it's amazing what happened to you after the...
They're happy for me. My son came over the first year, and he was, spent some time on the road with me. We had a nice time. But they're off, he's doing... My son, he has his own career. He's involved with martial arts now and training people how to stay physically fit and stuff like that, starting his own little classes back in upstate New York. So he's off doing his own thing right now.
But part of your life is here. And then you go back
a large part of my life is here now. Yeah, a large part of my life is here
now. A large part of your life.
Yeah.
And then you go back and forth. And you're going to go on a Christmas tour again?
Yeah, this is going to be, I believe, our third Christmas tour. It's been going so really well. And for me, it's a really special moment because it gets me closer to children.
Children?
Yeah, children, because that's what Christmas is to me. It's a holiday for children.
But you're also going to work with Erikshjälpen, is it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
To help other people in tough situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The charity work, you know. I went to Africa for a short while with Eric's help, and I did some talking, and I spoke with some of the people who are having hard times over there in Africa. And it wasn't only just to sing, it was really pretty much to talk to those folks about how I grew up and how my life wasn't all that...
Uganda, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't all that easy as a child myself, you know. And they were really kind of, I guess, comforted by that, knowing that this person with my recognition now at this point in time had the kind of like a similar childhood that they were going through in Africa.
The song you're going to sing is about how you can help.
Yeah.
Reach out to somebody that really needs help.
Yeah. Yeah. I sing and I write from the heart. It's got to be, for me, it's got to be something that I'm feeling myself strongly about. And the song "Give It Away" is a song about, I think God has God expects us all to know that we have a responsibility to help our brother and our sister in any way we can. I was walking through the subway yesterday, and I saw a woman going through the garbage cans in the subway. And I walked past her, and I was walking with my girlfriend, and I turned and looked at my girlfriend. I said, hold up. I said, and I stopped, and I looked back. And I went back to that lady, and I gave her some money. And we left, and my girlfriend said, "You're really nice." And it was nice to hear her say that, you know.
Because
it was nice to hear her say that.
What do you feel when you pass beggars in Sweden? It's quite new that we see them all over.
Is it new?
Quite new that we see them.
Well, I don't look at that as new. I mean, I was one of those people. So for me, it's not new.
No, it's not for you. But I mean, Sweden, for Swedes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do I feel about that? Depends on my day and my mood, I guess, at the time. And sometimes I give them some change, and sometimes I feel like maybe it's. I don't really know. I think there's a lot of us that really are not really sure if there's any kind of solution for it. I mean, I guess if I had any power in the situation, if I was a politician, somebody had some power in Sweden, and I had to come up with some kind of answer for them, I would say try to give them some work, you know. Bring them home and let them paint your house or wash your car or do your dishes or something, you know.
Because that kind of help people gave to you, or what, when you were in that situation?
Well, Jill Johnsson gave me a lot of help.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she really did.
I didn't realize the intensity of that song. She did. So for me, that was help. Right?
But it's really nice to have you here, and Going Down to the River is the title of the book, the song that really made your career here.
It sure did.
And you're gonna sing another song later on. Thank you so much for coming to my show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the invite.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you.